In December 1872, a British ship spotted an American vessel drifting silently in the Atlantic Ocean. No one was steering it, no one was on deck. The sails were partially set, the cargo was untouched, and a hot meal was sitting on the table in the captain's cabin. The ship was called the Mary Celeste, and every single person on board had simply vanished. The Mary Celeste had left New York 8 weeks earlier, carrying 1,071 barrels of industrial alcohol and a crew of 8 men. The captain, Benjamin Briggs, had brought his wife and 2-year-old daughter along for the voyage. By all accounts, he was experienced, cautious, and deeply religious. Not the kind of man who panicked, not the kind of man who abandoned a perfectly seaworthy ship without a very good reason. When the crew of the rescue ship boarded the Mary Celeste, they found something that made no sense. The ship was in almost perfect condition. There was 6 months' worth of food and fresh water. The cargo was mostly intact. The crew's personal belongings were still in their cabins: clothes, boots, pipes, even a small toy belonging to the captain's daughter. The only lifeboat was gone, and the last entry in the ship's navigation log was dated 10 days before the ship was found, placing it 600 miles away from where it was discovered. 600 miles in 10 days, with no one at the wheel. Investigators found 3.5 feet of water in the hold, which sounds alarming, but is actually normal for a ship that size. The pumps were working. There was no sign of fire, no sign of a storm, no sign of violence, no sign of struggle. The ship had simply been left quickly and quietly in the middle of the ocean. Theories came fast. Pirates were suggested and immediately dismissed. Nothing of value was taken. A freak wave was considered, but the ship showed no damage. Some pointed to the alcohol cargo, suggesting fumes might have caused a brief panic that sent the crew to the lifeboat, intending to return once the danger passed. But the lifeboat was gone, and no one ever came back. Others went further. They talked about a waterspout, a sudden submarine earthquake, even a giant squid. None of it was ever proven. Captain Briggs, his wife, his daughter, and 8 crew members were never seen again. No bodies were ever recovered. No lifeboat was ever found. No letter, no signal, no final message of any kind. The Mary Celeste was eventually repaired and put back into service. She changed hands 17 times in 13 years, as if no owner wanted to keep her long. She was finally deliberately wrecked off the coast of Haiti in 1885 in an insurance fraud scheme. A strange and undignified end for the most famous ghost ship in history. But the question she left behind has never been answered. 10 people stepped off a perfectly safe ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and whatever they saw, whatever they heard, whatever made them leave in such a hurry that a child's toy stayed behind on the table, they took it with them into the sea and never told a soul. Subscribe to Patina Puzzles. Every week, one mystery, 3 minutes. And tell me in the comments, what do you think made them abandon ship?